What is going on, baseball fans? How you doing this morning? Hope you got your coffee or whatever you drink in the morning. We got Blake Snell on the move. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it.
Wake up the dumb bambino and have me face him. Maybe I'll drill him in the ass.
Hey, good morning, baseball fans. How you doing? Alrighty. Hope you all have your coffee. This is a early morning stream. We don't usually do these. But while you may have been sleeping last night, the Rays and the Padres happened to just make a blockbuster trade that we've been hearing about this one player maybe being on the move for about a month now, and it finally happened. Blake Snell is going to the San Diego Padres. Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good trade for both sides. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to get into it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of processing everything because it just happened. I woke up to the news, to be honest with you. I went to bed nice and early last night. I slept fantastic. And then I wake up and see Blake Snell is in San Diego. So, and hey, as a Red Sox fan, I couldn't be happier because now we don't have to deal with Blake Snell anymore. But we may have to deal with some players in the future that I think Tampa Bay, they're really going to like these players. So everyone, how is everyone doing? I'll get into it here in a second. I'm seeing 35 people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. Before I get started, I got to do my cheap plugs. I'm sorry. But if you can, hit that subscribe button for me if you are looking for more baseball news, more baseball content. We're talking baseball here all the time. Everyone, please hit that like button. I know you hear people on YouTube say it all the time, and that's because it works. That like button, if you hit it, it gets it out to more people out there. The algorithm on YouTube loves that like button. I can't explain it. I don't know why, but it likes it. So everyone, if you can, let's get to at least 50 likes on this stream this morning. So, yeah, let's get it out to more baseball fans. And if you got Twitter, go ahead, follow me on Twitter. I'm talking baseball over there as well throughout the day. So, everyone, if you can, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, go follow me on Twitter. And then that's it. So, also one more thing. If you have yet to see, I posted this on Christmas Eve. It's what if David Ortiz never left the Minnesota Twins back after the 2002 season. If you have yet to see it, go give it a watch. I had a lot of fun making that, and I think you are going to enjoy that video. It's a fun one. So, but let's get back to the topic at hand. Blake Snell on the move, going to the Padres. So the Rays, after about a month of trade talks, it seems, or rumors, it's finally happening. So let's go take a look at the trade. So breaking it down, we have Blake Snell going to the Padres for Luis Patino, Francisco, is it Mejia? I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Cole Wilcox and Blake Hunt. So the Rays, they got themselves a pretty decent package for Blake Snell. Now, the one thing I've had with the Padres, it seems like their names have been coming up in trade talks for starting pitchers. Let me actually get this music off real quick. There we go. So the Padres, you've been hearing their name coming up a lot in trade talks lately for a starting pitcher. Their name has come up with Yu Darvish, and their name has been mixed in with Blake Snell as well throughout the past month, and they ended up being the winners for Blake Snell. The one thing I had with the Padres, I've been saying this for a bit now, mainly with the Yu Darvish stuff, is I didn't think the Padres were going to be able to make some kind of a trade because I thought personally that their top prospects were completely just they were not going to trade those guys. They were not going to trade Mackenzie Gore, a Luis Campusano, a CJ Abrams, and a Luis Patino. I thought after those guys, they really don't have much. I mean, they have some pretty good, mid-level prospects after those four, but I didn't think there was really anything that was going to tempt a team to, get rid of like a Yu Darvish or a Blake Snell. Now, the fact that they were okay with trading one of those top four prospects, of course, if you're going to trade one of those top four prospects, the Padres had some kind of a deal out there. They got rid of Luis Patino. This is a guy that is he's a really promising young pitcher. But the fact that they were okay with parting with one of their top four, that's why they were able to get this deal done. If you didn't include one of those guys, a Mackenzie Gore, a CJ Abrams, a Luis Patino, or a Luis Campusano, they were not going to, at least in my opinion, I don't think they were going to get a trade done. Sure, you got guys like, Adrian Morejon, you got Robert Hassel there that they just drafted, you got Ryan Weathers there, but those three, I don't think there were going to be a lot of teams that were going to be like, whoa, we really want those guys. Of course, if you put a Luis Patino in a trade, well, now you got a team that's like, oh, okay, well, all right, let's talk about it. So let's kind of take a look at kind of what you're going to be getting on both sides of this trade. So again, one more time before I break it down, Padres getting Blake Snell, Rays getting Luis Patino, Francisco Mejia, Cole Wilcox, and Blake Hunt. So let me share my screen. Let's take a look. Actually, let me give credit where it's due. Let's go to the source that reported this. So here we go. This was Dennis Lin, and also, I'm sorry, I have a cough right now. I don't know what's going on. JCT Sports and Ken Rosenthal were the first to report this. So the Padres have an agreement. So this is actually not finalized yet. This is not done. So they need to be doing, physicals and whatnot. And hey, we learned last year with the Red Sox when they traded Mookie Betts, they had an agreement in place. Brusdar Graterol, he went to go get his physical done, and the Red Sox didn't like what they saw on the report, and they completely nixed that trade, and then they had to kind of, restart those trade talks. So they were able to get something done. But, so again, this is important to say, this is not a done deal. They need to, review the medical records. Usually teams, even if something does come up with, physicals and whatnot, they usually are able to go back to the drawing board and they can kind of figure something else out. So, but again, this is still pending medical records, still pending those physicals. But he says Luis Patino, Francisco Mejia, Blake Hunt, and Cole Wilcox would head to Tampa. So Dennis Lin, the first to report this. So let's kind of go over the trade. You guys know me. If you guys have been, watching me for a bit now, one website I love to go to is baseballtradevalues.com. That's a great website. I love it. They do a lot of great work over here. Awesome stuff over here. And this is the breakdown of the trade. So Baseball Trade Values, what they do is they have a certain algorithm and they have values for each player. I'm not going to totally agree with every single thing that they do on here. There are some things where I'm like, you know what? I think that guy could maybe get a couple more points. But hey, what do I know? I'm not an expert by any means. But as you can see here, the Rays, according to Baseball Trade Values, they are getting more value in this trade. And that's usually what ends up having to happen is you're going to have to, if you want something good, you're going to have to give up something good. And usually if you got other teams in the mix trying to make a trade, then you're going to have to kind of sweeten the pot a little bit. So when you look at this trade right here, the Rays receiving about 61 points of value and the Padres getting about 53 points of value, the Padres, they had to really kind of, you always kind of have to overpay a little bit. You're never going to have like a straight even trade. There's always going to be that team that always has to maybe throw in another piece, just to kind of sweeten the pot. But as you can see, this is, in my opinion, I think this is a pretty good trade, I think, for both sides. The Padres now come back to me in about, in 3-4 years, and we'll see what this trade looks like then. But as of right now, I like the trade for both teams. The Padres, they lost Mike Clevenger for 2021. Lamet, he's having, who knows how he's going to be. He was having some issues towards the end of the season last year. He was pitching great. So I think for the Rays to get a guy like a Blake Snell, the Padres to get a guy like a Blake Snell, I think that's huge for their pitching depth. And just overall, you're getting Blake Snell. That's very good. We'll get to Blake Snell here in a second. We'll break him down. But as you can see, but what I like, not just getting Luis Patino, that's a great young arm to get for the Rays. That scares me as a Red Sox fan. Seeing a Luis Patino. We're going to look at Luis Patino here in a second, but that guy is good. As you can see here, what I was talking about earlier, Luis Patino, he had an availability, at least on baseball trade values, they had him at a low availability because the Padres have not been willing to include their top prospects, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, Luis Patino, and Luis Campusano. And that's why I didn't think the Padres were going to get something done. But the fact that they were okay with parting with a Luis Patino, that's how this trade got done. This trade would not have gotten done without Luis Patino. I stand by that. But as you can see, baseball trade values did have his availability at low. But I like that they got Patino. That's a great young arm for the future of their starting rotation. You get a catcher in Mejia. He's had a bit of a slow start, in his career, but he's a young catcher, and the Rays have not been able to figure out their catching situation. It seems like ever since the start of their franchise. They had like Deontay Navarro, they've never really been able to get that catcher like that can just be like that cornerstone of your franchise, like a Yadier Molina. They've always kind of had trouble with the catching position. So maybe this is someone that they can, figure out with him. There is a lot of potential with him. We'll get to him. They also got Blake Hunt. That's a catcher as well. So they're really loading up on catchers. And that shows to me that the Rays, they're really trying to search for that catcher of the future. But then an interesting piece here is Cole Wilcox. So we'll break him down here in a second. But Cole Wilcox, this is an arm out of college where had some control issues in college, but this is a guy that just has good stuff. If he can really work on those control issues, Cole Wilcox is a guy where that could be a huge arm for your bullpen. As you can see, the Rays, they love those hard-throwing guys out of the bullpen, and Cole Wilcox could end up being that next guy in the next couple of years. The Rays do really well with developing pitchers, so maybe they can figure something out with the Cole Wilcox. But for the Padres, getting back to them, they're getting Blake Snell. That's going to be huge for their rotation. The Padres are ready to compete. They're ready to take on the Dodgers for that West Division. And, I think this is a good move for them. You're getting a really good starting pitcher in Blake Snell, who's just entering his prime. He's already won a Cy Young Award. For the Padres, this is huge. This is huge for them. But let's kind of start breaking down each player. So Blake Snell, if we go take a look at Baseball Savant, Blake Snell, you know what you're getting with Blake Snell. You're going to be getting good numbers across the board. You're going to get consistency from him. You're going to get innings from him. And he does pretty well with the advanced numbers. Exit velocity, he ranks in the top half. Hard hit percentage, kind of in the middle. But then, everything else is pretty decent. He's in the top half in xERA and X batting average. X slugging right there in the middle. He gives up some barrel percentage. He's not very good at staying away from the barrel, but he gets a lot of strikeouts. He needs to maybe try and work. Oh, we got something going on. Oh, Webb's Love 1122, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. When do I think the Mets announced the Springer signing? I don't know. I was hearing some stuff over the weekend that the Mets are, closing in on maybe signing a big guy. If that ends up happening, I hope we see something this week. Really, this has been a slow offseason. I really hope if the Mets do indeed get George Springer, I hope it's this week, man. We need something as baseball fans. Thank you so much, Webb's Love. I appreciate that. $2 super chat. Thank you so much. But getting back to Blake Snell, you know what you're getting with him. You're going to get a good amount of strikeouts from him, a lot of whiffs. His velocity, he's up there in the top 20%. He averages 95 miles an hour on his fastball. Good spin rate on the fastball. Curve, he's kind of in the middle on the curve spin rate. But Blake Snell, you're getting a solid guy. This is a guy that, he could be at the top. You can count on him for a big game. you can count on him for consistency throughout the season. You know, Blake Snell, I mean, he was pitching really well against the Dodgers, and we all know, you know, what infamously happened in the playoffs, in the World Series, when he got pulled a little too early. At least we all, I think, can agree on that. So here we go. But yeah, Blake Snell, you're going to get a lot of good stuff from him. Look at that curveball that averaged a lot of horizontal movement in this past year. If you look at the four-seam fastball, that spin rate last year in 2019, that really showed. He had a lot of vertical movement on that four-seam fastball. With Blake Snell, I mean, you're not going to get the best picture in the league, but you're going to get a really solid one. So the Padres, I like this move for the Padres, especially that they're trying to compete. They're trying to take on the Dodgers. They're trying to win a World Series for the first time in franchise history, which for some of you, that might actually sound kind of crazy. They've never won a World Series. So, yeah. So the Padres, they're trying to make something happen. But getting on to the Rays side of this, as we know, the Rays, they tend to do pretty well in these trades. They've made a couple of trades with the Padres. You know, with the Rays, they were able to get rid of, you know, Pagan. He ended up not doing very well in San Diego. They did have to get rid of Cronenworth. You know, but the Padres and Rays, they've had a good relationship when it comes to trading. You know, Tommy Pham as well. Ended up not doing too great with the Padres, but he was really good with the Rays. So, you know, it's not surprising to see them coming back together again and completing this kind of a trade. But let's kind of get back to the Rays side of this. The Rays, they've been able to win a couple of trades in their history. They've done pretty well with trades. I think we can all think of the Tyler Glasnow trade. They did pretty good with that, with Chris Archer going to the Pittsburgh Pirates. But here we go. Let's get to Mejia. So if we take a look at him right now, this is he hasn't shown too much, but this is a guy that has a lot of control left. He's not a free agent until 2025. So I think for the Rays to bring him in, they can maybe work with him. So I mean, as you can see here, he just has not done too much. He's only hit 225 in his career so far, over 128 games. He's had a couple of homers, you know, 33 RBIs. He hasn't really done too much. If you look at him defensively, he's been okay defensively. He hasn't really, you know, blown you away with the defensive numbers. Let me actually pull him up on Fangraphs. Here we go. Let's take a look at the more advanced numbers when it comes to his defense. Okay, here we go. Fielding. All right, so as you can see here, in his career, completely forgot he was with the Indians in 2017. But he's not the worst catcher out there. I think he's more of an offensive-minded kind of a guy from stuff that I've read. But, you know, -2 defensive runs saved in his career. The framing, he really struggled with the framing in 2019. Did not do very well there. So there is he's very raw when it comes to catching. But there is a lot of stuff to like. He has a pretty good arm, you know, so that there's some stuff to like with him. But I think that the offense is something to really take a keep an eye out for with him. This is someone where, you know, he could really develop into a pretty good hitting catcher. So let's actually just go take a couple, you know, or a look at a couple of highlights here of Mejia. Hopefully I do not get copyrights, but we have to talk about these pieces in this trait. So with Mejia, you know, hitting from the left-hand side, you know, this is a guy, he's got a nice swing. You know, if we actually take a look here, I mean, this is a great swing here, right through the zone, good bat speed. So let's actually go to the next one. I mean, I like the swing a lot. I like it. It's just a nice, smooth swing. Actually, take a look here. Yeah, really nice swing. Really, really nice swing. I really like what you see from him. Like I said, there is definitely potential. One more time, let's actually take a look. Really nice swing. I like what you see with Mejia. Boom. Just a really good bat speed. That's one thing to take a look at with him. Is there is potential there offensively with him. He just hasn't really been able to put it together too much as of right now. But again, this is a guy, he's only 25 years old. Oh, we got something going on. What is happening? Brian Buckley with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. As soon as news broke last night, I bought a future bet on Padres at 1,000 to win the ship for 2,000. Oh, man. Hey, you know, the fact that they made this trade, they have kept themselves in the conversation. And, you know, I think it's kind of funny, too. Blake Snell was going up against the Dodgers in the World Series, and now he's with the Padres. So now he's going to be facing the Dodgers a lot more. So that's going to be pretty fun to watch. Hopefully that bet works out for you, my friend. Hey, the Padres could be a pretty sneaky pick for this next year. And definitely, I think for 2022, that's a pretty good bet as well, if you ask me. We'll get to 2022 here in a second. But here we go. But Francisco Mejia, you know, young catcher still. He looks good with his swing. I think there's a lot of stuff to like with him. I think he just needs more time. And hopefully with the Rays, you know, maybe they can work something. Maybe they can figure out something with him. But getting on to the main piece here is Luis Patino. Now, this is a guy where this guy has a lot of potential. This is a guy that throws hard, you know, a bit of movement in his delivery. But overall, you get a lot of good stuff from him. I mean, 97 right there, up and in on him. Fastball up and away, 98 right there. It just looks effortless. You know, pretty good movement there on that slider. I mean, you're getting a lot. I mean, 97 right there on the inside half. I mean, 100 miles an hour right there on the lower corner. Luis Patino, man. Up and away, 99. He just looks effortless. It just looks effortless. Slider down and in. Do you see the mile per hour difference on that? Oh, goodness gracious. Had a little movement on that fastball. Got a little tail on it. You know, 98. I mean, goodness gracious. Look at that nice changeup. Really, about a 10-mile-an-hour difference. Really nice changeup right there. Reminds me of Pedro a bit. Kind of reminds me of Pedro in a way. Oh, we got something going on. Webb's Love with another super chat. Let me pause this. Do Patino and Mejia make the Rays opening day roster? I think you could see Patino. But Patino is a guy, he hasn't had too much seasoning in the minor leagues. So I think you definitely could see Patino maybe go to the minors to start off the 2021 season. Maybe Mejia too. I don't know. I could definitely maybe see Mejia because the Rays do need catchers. So they brought Zunino back, but I think you could see Mejia. I could definitely see Patino going to the minor leagues. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. But yeah, Patino really reminds me of Pedro Martinez. Really good changeup, really good fastball. He's got a slider. Look at that changeup. Such a good changeup. I mean, again, the only thing with Patino that you gotta have to kind of look out for, that's nasty. 96 on the lower corner. Look at that changeup. Can we look at that changeup just one more time? Look at this changeup. Did you see the movement on that? Patino is nasty. So, getting away from these highlights here. So, with Patino, you're going to see really good stuff. You're going to see some good velocity from Patino. The only problem with Patino is it tends to be the control for him. He has trouble locating at times. If we actually go take a look here. Again, I mean, he hasn't really had too much seasoning in the minor leagues. So let's actually take a look here. So in 2019, he was able to get to Double-A, but as you can see, he was only a rookie in 2017. I mean, 2017, he had how many starts? He had 12 starts in 2017. In 2018, he had 17 starts. That was with Single-A. And then 2019, he was with High A ball, and then he was with Double-A as well. So, again, not too much as of right now in the minor leagues. As you can see, in the minors, he's pitched in 48 games overall in the minors. And, you know, you tend to need a little more time than that. He's had good numbers in the minor leagues. I mean, look at the ERA in the minor leagues, a 2.35 ERA. He's had a good amount of strikeouts, about 11 strikeouts per 9, 10.7. The walks he needs to clean up with. As you can see here, if we take a look at how he did this year, he had a lot of strikeouts, about 11 strikeouts per 9, but then look at the walks, 7.3 walks per 9. He's going to have to clean that up. But that has been one issue with Patino. but the stuff is just so good. If you go to before the 2020 season, he was the number 18 prospect overall. I mean, there's a lot to like with him. It's just the control. He's going to have to really work on that. But this guy has all the potential in the world, and I love this addition for the Rays. If he can stay healthy, just work on that control, this could be the next Rays ace of that rotation. And goodness gracious, he's 21 years old. I mean, there is a lot to like with him. He reminds me a lot of a Pedro Martinez, just that stuff. And he kind of has that similar build. He's about 6'1", 192 pounds. That reminds me a lot of Pedro Martinez. So moving on from Luis Patino, another guy that they got here was Cole Wilcox. I really liked Cole Wilcox. He had some control issues in college, but this is a guy who throws gas. If you take a look at Cole Wilcox, I mean, goodness. 95 on the inner half right there. I mean, 95. Like, he throws hard. I could see him definitely being maybe a mid-rotation starter, or definitely a really good arm out of that bullpen, potentially a closer. I mean, 96 right there. He just looks like he just throws effortlessly. Look at that. 95. He's always touching 95, 96. I'm sure he can ramp it up to around 99. I mean, 97 right there. I mean, this is a guy for Georgia. He did really well. He pitched with Emerson Hancock at Georgia. Cole Wilcox, a lot to like with him. I like the addition for the Rays. I think a great addition for them. I don't know why. I just see him as like a bullpen arm. If we actually go take a look at Cole Wilcox. Here we go. So in college, in 20... Wait, I don't want to look at batting stats. What are we doing? There we go. So in 2019 at Georgia, he came out of the bullpen more. He did start 6 games. The ERA was a little high in 2019, but again, you have to remember 2020 that the season got cut short because of COVID. So 2019 is really where you saw a lot more from him. He pitched about 60 innings. But overall, he had about 10 strikeouts per 9. But as you can see, the walks really kind of ticked up a notch there in 2019. But he really improved it. Over 4 starts in 2020, he really did improve on those walks. Look at the strikeouts. Look at the walks. He was walking under 1 batter per 9. So it looks like he might have figured something out in 2020. But just because of what we have based on the sample size, 2019, he walked a lot of guys. So if we take a look, he had 38 walks in 2019 over about 60 innings. That's a lot of walks. So if he can keep that cleaned up, this is a guy that throws hard. He could be, a mid-rotation starter, back-end starter kind of a guy. Good arm out of the bullpen. I mean, Cole Wilcox, I like the addition here. Really like the addition. I like it. Cole Wilcox, definitely keep an eye out for him. And then also they got Blake Hunt, another catcher. This is a guy drafted in 2017. I don't know too much about Blake Hunt, so let's get to know him together right here. So as we can see here, the Padres landed Hunt with the 69th overall selection in the 2017 draft, signed him for $1.6 million. So a shoulder injury limited Hunt to DH duties in his first season, but he's broken out as a reliable catcher with a high upside bat. Since then, in 2018, he caught more innings than anyone else in the Northwest League while posting a 271 average with a 371 on base. That's really good. So he's got a good frame. I'm about to sneeze, but I can't. I'm trying to not sneeze right now. Please. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. All right, so he's 6'4". He's got some arm strength. Look at the pop time. He's below 1.9. Below 1.9. So says here the Padres were confident in his framing abilities, and he's made strides defensively. Offensively, Hunt's swing can get long, and it got a few too many moving pieces. But it seems like he understands the strike zone well enough, and he should develop a fair amount of power. Hunt has big strides to make on offense and some tweaks on defense. As prospects go, he's risky, given that he remains so raw, but Hunt's tools make him very appealing, and with a bit of development, he could be a big league talent. So for the Rays, I think this is a guy, he was the number 14 prospect in the Padres system. So I think with the Rays, they're loading up on catchers. They just got another catcher in the Nate Lowe trade with the Rangers. I forget, I'm going blank on the name, but he was a really young catcher. So the Rays are really loading up on catchers right now, and that says to me they have just not had luck when it comes to the catching position in their organization. So they are really trying to improve in that position. So they've now added 3 catchers. Zunino, if you count Zunino, they've added 4 catchers this offseason. They re-signed Zunino. They brought in Blake Hunt. They brought in Francisco Mejia in the same trade. And then the other guy, what was his name? I think it was like Humberto. Was it Humberto Hernandez? I think I might be wrong on that. But they got him in the Nate Lowe trade. So they have added 3 new catchers this offseason into their organization. That to me says a lot. So overall, I really like this trade for the Rays and the Padres. Overall, I think both teams, they win here because they're trying to do something. They're trying. So for the Rays with Snell, they're trying to cut costs, but they were able to bring in a pretty good package. Luis Patino reminds me of Pedro Martinez when he was younger. Cole Wilcox, that could be a really good arm for that bullpen. And then you got Mejia, you got Hunt. Both are pretty raw at the moment, but they could turn into, they're pretty good high upside catchers. So I like that for the Rays. I like that they were able to add a guy like Patino. If you have to cut costs and trade away Snell, who was on a pretty friendly contract. However, if you're able to bring in a guy like Luis Patino, to me, a young Pedro Martinez, that's pretty good if you ask me. But for the Padres, they're getting Blake Snell. And for 2021, that's going to help them immensely. They traded for Clevinger at the deadline. Unfortunately, he went down, has to get Tommy John surgery. But with Snell, you're bringing him in for this year. He's essentially going to take the place of him. But then, not even talking about 2021, let's actually talk about 2022. This is a potential rotation that you could see in 2022. You could see Lamet, Snell, Clevinger, maybe Mackenzie Gore if he's ready at that time, which he definitely could be. And then Zach Davies in the 5th spot. Could you imagine this rotation in the 2022 season? That is nasty if you ask me. This has potential to be one of the best rotations in baseball in 2022. So, yeah, this to me looks nasty. If Lamet can stay healthy, if Clevinger can come back healthy, what a rotation this could be. So, whoops, did not mean to click that. But I like this move for the Padres a lot. We're going to have to come back to this maybe in, 3-4 years or so. Again, because you don't know what's going to happen with these prospects. If these prospects end up coming, being pretty good for the Padres, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Luis Patino, I mean, I love Luis Patino. I definitely like him a lot, but you don't know what's going to happen with his control issues. He definitely walks some guys as of right now. So who knows? You get a lot of these guys that kind of come up and then they kind of just fade away into obscurity. These guys that tend to have control issues. Hopefully he can get by that. If he can, that could be a top of the rotation guy for the Rays in the future. I really like that move for the Rays. If these guys can develop into something, the Rays tend to do pretty well with developing these prospects. So, Padres, I love the move. Top of the rotation guy in a Blake Snell. 2021, they are going to be competitive with him. But then 2022, oh my, get Clevinger back. You could have a rotation that definitely has potential to go after a World Series. And they're definitely going to be playoff contenders this year too. Hey, you have Blake Snell and Lamet. If Lamet can stay healthy, I mean, you got him and Snell. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for the playoffs. We'll have to see what else they do. Will they maybe go after like a middle of the rotation kind of a guy, like a back end guy for the rotation for this year? Not quite sure, but as of right now, I think this is a win for the Padres right now. But I would say it's a win for the Rays right now. I think they may have to take a bit of a step back this next season. But the Rays. The Rays always tend to they just figure it out. So, hey, they're not going to have Snell. That is going to be a bit of a hit. So you definitely could see that starting pitching take a step back. But, hey, they're the Rays. They seem to figure this stuff out. So, everyone in the chat, before I get out of here, give me a thumbs up if you like this trade for both sides, or give me a thumbs down if you do not like this trade. Tell me in the chat, who do you think won this trade? Do you think the Rays won this trade? Do you think the Padres won this trade? What do you think? I'll look at the chat here before I get out of here. Here we go. Yep, Robert, Rays always come back. The Rays, the Rays seem to have really figured it out when it comes to developing their guys. Yeah, Drew, I agree. I'm not really a big fan of Tyler Glasnow. He has really good stuff. I personally think Tyler Glasnow would be a disgusting closer if you ask me. But I don't know, the walks. I don't like the walks very much with Glasnow. He can't really get deep into games very often. Michael likes this trade. Dark, Rays win. Rays always seem to develop pitching, and Rays get their catcher of the future. And hey, they got a couple of guys here that could maybe be their catcher of the future. If one of them doesn't work out, maybe the other one works out. Taylor, I think the Padres won this trade because they are receiving proven talent. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Blake Snell he's a Cy Young winner. He's only 27 years old. David Knight with the thumbs up. Brian Buckley with the thumbs up. Oh, BZ Baseball, you are right. I forgot about Paddock. Oh, no. I completely forgot about Paddock. Well, he stunk this past year, I'll tell you that. But if Paddock, wow, BZ Baseball, thank you so much. Wow, I completely forgot Paddock. Well, let's actually go back to this. Then if Paddock, wow, oh my goodness, I can't do streams in the morning. I just tend to forget all these guys. But anyway, if you go back to this rotation, take Davies out, and if Paddock can bounce back, oh my goodness, what a rotation that would be. I completely forgot about Chris Paddock. But he was so bad this year. I just forgot about him completely. But yeah, take Davies out of there, Paddock right there. Oh my God, what a rotation that could be. Thank you very much, BZ Baseball, for bringing that to my attention. I completely forgot about Chris Paddock. So, but Davies definitely had a pretty good year this year. So, if Paddock can bounce back, if he can get back to what he was in 2019, oh boy, that rotation would be disgusting. But Paddock, he has a lot to really work on from 2019. So Alex Silva, Snell definitely pitched well in the playoffs. He pitched very well. I like it for the Padres a lot. David Knight, Padres could be very deep. I agree. The Padres, I think, are really setting themselves up. And you know what? The fact that they did give up Patino, I do like Patino. Again, he is a prospect as of right now. You're not really quite sure what you're going to get with him. I like the potential in a Luis Patino, but the fact that they were still able to hold on to Mackenzie Gore, they were still able to hold on to C.J. Abrams, they still got Luis Campusano. So, I'm just saying, like, the Padres are still doing pretty good if you ask me. BZ Baseball, I actually did read about that. The Padres, man, I'll tell you, the Padres. Ha-Sung Kim, the Padres are reportedly very aggressive on him right now. I'm going to save that for tonight's stream. So I don't want to talk about everything right now because I'm going to be doing my stream tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that may live on the West Coast, that will be 5 o'clock for you. But yeah, that is all I have for this morning, everyone. I kind of just wanted to hop on here, talk the Blake Snell trade while it was still fresh in people's minds. And I didn't want to wait. I wanted to talk about it. We have not been having that much news when it comes to baseball. So when I saw something big happen, I was like, oh, I got to make some coffee and we got to talk about it because I've been waiting for news to just happen. Any kind of news. So, Jackson, I am noticing you, my friends. No tears here, my friend. No tears. But yeah, everyone, that's all I have for right now. So again, real quick before I get out of here, if you can, hit that subscribe button for me. If you're looking for more baseball news, looking for more baseball content, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button before I get out of here. Let's actually see where we're at with the likes. Come on, everyone. We're at 46 likes. 46 likes. Let's get to 50. 4 more of you. We just need 50. Come on, we're at 48. Can we hit 50? We're at 49. No! Someone hit the down vote. No! No! Oh! There we go. 54. There we go. There we go. All right. We hit our goal of 50 likes. There we go. All right, everyone. But yes, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're looking for more baseball content. Follow me on Twitter. If you can, share this stream. Share my channel. Let's get out there. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the baseball season starts. And also, real quick before I get out of here, if you're bored today, go check out this video. What if David Ortiz did not leave the Twins after the 2002 season? Go check that out. It's pretty fun. I enjoyed making it. I think you'll enjoy it too. But everyone, that is all I got for right now. I'll be back here tonight at 8 o'clock to talk about other baseball news that happens throughout the day. So everyone, have a good rest of your Monday, and I will see you tonight at 8 o'clock.